Wow. There's something about ancient forest ecosystems that really just puts things into perspective, especially when it comes to how goofy critters like us humans really are. I mean, we love to label things and outline things and put things into boxes and put those boxes into nice, neat little rows so everything, makes sense. Like I am me, you are you, and we are humans, and this is all nature. This is all outside of the human realm. Like this is a western red cedar, that's a big leaf maple, that's a western sword fern. We individualize things. And in this classic Darwinian style of thought, we assume that life on this planet and ecosystems like this are some highly competitive environments where everything's trying to take advantage of the other one, outgrow, outcompete, get the light, survival of the fittest, when in reality, that's not the case. The truth is far from that, and things are much more complicated, and as it turns out, there's quite a bit we as a society can learn from ecosystems like this. Trees like this big leaf maple and this western red cedar are actually connected to one another underground through what's known as an arbuscular mycorrhizae fungi that connects them both at the root tips and allows them to send nutrients back and forth to one another despite being different species, allowing them to grow together and survive as a team. So in the winter months, when the big leaf maple doesn't have any leaves and can't photosynthesize, the cedar will actually send it carbon through that mycorrhizal network so that it can withstand the cold winter months and keep its immune system up. And then in the summertime, the maple will reciprocate by having these big leaves that shade the understory, maintaining high moisture levels, which the cedar loves, and then sending it water and carbon through that same mycorrhizal network to the cedar when it's in need during the driest times of the year. Additionally, big trees like this can identify other saplings in the understory that may be their offspring. It can work to send them direct nutrients to each one through that same mycorrhizal network that takes a slim percentage of those nutrients in order to survive. So it's less about everything kind of out-competing everything else, but more like everything working together to grow for the betterment of all, from these two trees to the fungus that helps facilitate the transfer between them, that feeds the soil and allows for everything else here to grow. Yet here we are in a second growth forest, in a stand modified by human activities in an attempt to gain maximum economic value from the forest ecosystem. And what we're left with is what's basically a monoculture of trees, all similar species, similar ages, not a lot of diversity here to add nutrients back to the soil, as well as a disrupted fungal network, which is going to make that transfer between trees much more difficult. So basically all these trees here are struggling to get the resources they need to survive, which is going to make them much more susceptible to fire, insect infestations, and disease, and basically less able to adapt to any changes that may come their way. So while this homogeneous stand of trees is still technically a forest, it lacks the diversity that all life on this planet has evolved to live with, humans included. Like a healthy forest ecosystem, our society functions best with diversity. Different ideas, different thoughts, different perspectives, different beliefs, etc., where everything and everyone has a place. And the more diversity we have, the more able we are to adapt to any changes that may come our way. Just like a monocultures of trees isn't healthy or natural, neither is a monopoly of industries or monolithic ideas within society. Yet society continues to push these things forward because they're seen as being, economically efficient or easier or cheaper. Just as arrogant forestry practices seek to remove deciduous trees because they're seen as impeding with the growth of coniferous trees, the powers that be try to divide our society along arbitrary values when in reality, it's the differences between us that makes us all stronger. It doesn't matter what your skin color may be, your background, race, religion, gender, job, who you choose to love, or what you choose to put in your body. At the end of the day, it's all these differences between us that unite us all and make us stronger, more resilient, and more adaptable in a changing world. We will never be able to tackle issues as daunting as climate change unless we're able to address some of these larger systemic issues first, ending racism, bigotry, misogyny, any division of any kind, whether you be indigenous or settler, land defender or logger, conservative or liberal, vaccinated or unvaccinated. We all need to exercise more empathy and compassion towards one another, to have difficult conversations and to hear out different perspectives. And as a society, we need to exercise more humility, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which box you fit yourself into, we're all still just a bunch of raving, self-absorbed, anthropocentric species. Only then will we finally be able to acknowledge that we are all Homo sapiens, just one species of 3 trillion on this planet, and that each one of us has a unique role to play not only in society, but within these ecosystems that is no more important than this moss or this cedar. We need to learn to acknowledge and to respect all life on this planet equally, because it's what makes all of this so dang pretty. So instead of drawing boxes around things and labeling things and separating our world into pieces that we assume don't interact with each other, let's embrace the fact that despite our differences, we all depend on each other's success in order to create a world that we can not only survive in, but thrive in. God dang, what a beauty. If you're enjoying these videos, videos, feel free to keep on watching, subscribe to my channel, or help support their production by becoming a patron at the Patreon page listed below. We've got all sorts of sweet perks there, as well as stickers and merch available at nerdyaboutnature.com. Because nature, it's pretty neat, you know. The more you know about it, the more fun you're going to have next time you're out there enjoying it.